Hi, my name is Booker T. Kohler, and I'm another George Floyd. It happened to me. Like every other black man across America, always had their run-in with the police department or someone on the police force. Even at a young age, at the age of 21 years old, I was pulled over along with 3 friends of mine, coming from the store. And on my way home, a police car drove right across the front of us, came over the sidewalk, stopped, got out of the car. White officers, they pulled out guns, they pointed them in our face, and they told us, they said, "Nigger, what you doing over here?" And so while we were there, being young men, they handcuffed us, put us in the car, didn't know where they were bringing us to. One of my friends who were much older than me, they separated him, put him in the car by himself, and me and my other friend who were younger than him, they put us in a car together. And they drove us back to the place where somebody filed a complaint to say that it was disturbance of the peace. And when they brought us to the store owner who was making the complaint that somebody was coming into his store making a lot of racket and making noise, the young guy said, the manager said, "Oh, those are not the guys who did it." So they brought us back to a nearby Wilson store and they let us out in the parking lot. And after they took the handcuffs off, the officer said to us, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just doing my job." And so my question was to him, calling me a nigger and everything else, was that just doing your job? So like every other young black man across America, we always have this stigma or this trauma in our lives that we're still not free, even in America. That no matter where we go, whatever neighborhood we live in, we're always faced with a trauma or whether or not we're going to be racial profiled. And in the close of this, I want to say this. Now I'm 60 years old, and you would think that all of this would be over with. But just on a few years ago, when I was traveling to work about 5:30 in the morning, I was on my way to work. And as I was going over the bridge, I saw in a nearby neighborhood, there was a police car that came out of the side of from the neighborhood, a junction to the street I was traveling on. And as I was going up the bridge, I was in the left-hand lane. And I saw the officer, I saw the car coming. And there was no one else on the street at that time, but just me and the police officer. And so as I was approaching the bridge and going up over the top of the bridge, I put on my blinker to signal to get into the middle lane to allow the officer to go by me because I thought there was an emergency when I saw his flashes. But lo and behold, he was coming behind me. And so as I pulled over, as the officer directed me with his car and his siren, I pulled over, 5:30 in the morning. And as I was sitting there, he was running, he came to the car, he asked me where I was going. I told him I was on my way to work, doing the speed limit. So I give him my driver's license. And when I give my driver's license to him, he took a long time to come back to the car because he couldn't believe that being a man that of my age, that I had no criminal record. There was nothing on my driver's license, no attachment, no indication of anything wrongdoing in the system. And he couldn't believe it. And since he couldn't believe it, he gave me a ticket. And he said I was obstructing traffic at 5:30 in the morning with no one else on the street but me and him. I was obstructing traffic. Or was it the fact that he couldn't live with a young black man who had no prior record on his license, and he just couldn't live with it? So you see, in America, this is the things that we're constantly faced with every day: discrimination. I never been to jail, never been locked up, never been charged for drugs, never did anything that I can be incarcerated about. But yet, I was harassed. So you see, I'm a George Floyd too. You don't have to do nothing to be guilty in America. All you have to do is be black. So I'm asking all of you who have went through something that you would do just as I'm doing. And I'm hoping that this get to wherever it needs to go, to the highest authority, that they can realize that if at 20-something years old and now at 60 years old, we're still being harassed in America, are we really free? What does it take? Do we have to continue to die to be free? Or will the law change that we will have the pursuit and the liberty of justice for all? Thank you for watching the video and hashtag it happened to me.